The first thing we have to do in managing ourselves, and it's in this order, is to know our strengths. Everyone can tell me what they're not good at. Everyone can tell me what they fail at. Everyone can tell. What are your strengths? Where are your gifts? What shows up over and over again? Now, I'm going to share with you, this is hard. You know why? Your gifts are so natural to you, you don't even think they're gifts. The only time, one of the first times you recognize a gift is when you see somebody struggling with something that comes easy to you. You look at something and you go, why is that hard? This isn't hard. You think the person's not trying? Are they not smart? Are they not good? No, you're gifted in that area. And so it's hard to know our strengths. And I'm going to say to you, it takes a lot of work. Knowing your strengths is one of the key components on how we coach people. And so has anyone in the room here had a heritage profile? Well, you know what I'm talking about. So you get this in-depth analysis of your natural gifts, and it shows you what your strengths are. And it allows you to focus on your strengths. This is one like page of my profile, and it helps me examine. Here's what my gifts are. Here's what I'm good at. It gives me points of understanding. Here's where I'm encouraged in my day. And again, you know there's all kinds of information in this, but this little piece right here, I'm going to share with you, there's not a month that goes by that I don't open that up. Now, I've had my profile done 27 years ago. With the heritage profile, with different aspects of our company, whatever else, I've actually gone through it several times. And what's interesting, as much as I've grown as a person and changed in my life and changed the perspective, those attributes have remained the same. It turns out, when I've sat down with my mom and dad and got, talking to them, here they are in their 80s, and they go, I could have told you that. You were that way when you were 3 years old. They saw the gifts then. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is what I'm good at. It's not bragging. It's not exaggeration. In my faith tradition, I know where they come from. So you should never brag about something that was given. If you were given a present, you shouldn't brag about getting a present. You brag on the person that gives you the present. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So there's no reason for cockiness or arrogance. You got these gifts. Now the next thing is this, you got to play to your strengths. So write that one down. Play to your strengths. These are your gifts. You got to play to your strengths. I want to show you a little illustration. This is a very, very famous picture. This is the great coach Lombardi being carried off the field after his 6th championship. Now, I'll give you context on this. Vince Lombardi took over a team. Back in those days, they used to play 14 games. And the team he took over went 2-12. Not a good team. Okay? The following year, they went 12-2 with only one change in personnel. So in this picture here is this great player named Jerry Kramer, who won all those championships with Vince Lombardi. And Jerry Kramer says, this is a story, he says one time they're playing their arch enemy, Chicago. So you got the Bears, the Packers, hate each other. And Jerry Kramer's there, and he's up against the defensive player. And the defensive player goes, you guys are sweeping right, Jerry, aren't you? And Jerry goes, yep. And they did. Jerry told them to play. He knew the play. They still got a first down. Because it was their strength. And they played to their strengths. And it didn't matter what the opposition was doing. It didn't matter what they were coming up against. They were going to play to their strengths. And with that, Vince Lombardi won 6 out of the next 9 championships. What happens in real estate? Someone in your office does a deal. And you go, oh, what did you do? Oh, I got this internet lead. And I chased it down. And it was a fixer-upper, and I fixed it up, and this and that and the other. Hey, I need to do that. No, I'm over here. I'm reconditioning mobile homes. Really? You make a lot of money there? Let me try the old mobile home market. Oh, I did a luxury deal, and this and that and the other. I don't know anyone in the luxury market, but why would I do that? And most agents end up like a one-eyed dog in a meat market chasing the next thing. What are your strengths? And play to those, and forget the rest. So the last piece of this is to leverage your strengths. You got to leverage it. Get more out of your strengths than you're currently getting. You got to leverage them. Irma Bombeck is one of the great writers of all time. In American culture, she was transformative. She was the classic American suburbanite housewife who ended up becoming one of the largest syndicated columnists in the history of the United States, 15 bestsellers, brilliant, brilliant humorist. And people often underestimated her, which was part of her genius. You're the suburban housewife. You got a couple of funnies and this and that. Brilliant lady, achieved at some of the highest levels anyone ever has. Here was her little quote for this sweet-talking humorist. She goes, when I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left and could say, I used everything you gave me. You go scratch behind some of these most successful people. You'll see this over and over and over again. We want to find out what your strengths are. We want to match up your strengths with what you enjoy, what you're good at, and then go do it.